Honestly, if traditional fighting games want to become more mainstream, they need to lower the skill ceiling. I can barely input half of the moves. A huge reasoning as to why fighting games are not mainstream. Today, we talk the truth of fighting games, and the reason why I call it the truth is because I go to you all, read your comments, and discuss things about fighting game culture. So let's go ahead and check these out. Now, to give a quick backstory on this, I asked a few questions. I do polls, questions, community engagements often, so make sure you just like and subscribe. It really does help, and again, you are helping and leveraging the content as we grow together. So those, I appreciate you. These comments, again, I asked simple questions. For example, can fighting games be mainstream? What could be improved? And just things like that nature. So let's go ahead and check out some of this stuff, man. I'm excited. So Tekken Force mode, co-op fun and lets them use characters in a low stress environment while learning. Plus it's fun as hell to tag team combo the bosses, which is true. Tekken Force mode is a great way. This comment goes within how can fighting games be mainstream. So Tekken Force mode is dope. It's perfect. It's like what I say about Shaolin Monks and Street Fighter 6 World Tour. I think these types of game modes really help out the leverage of bringing in a typical casual player and maybe helping out commercialized fighting games in totality. That's just my opinion. A free-to-play 2XKO, which is Project L, which is League, and it's gonna be a game changer, which is true. I'm not too sure how much people like that dynamic of fighting games. True fighting game enthusiasts like ourselves, we're gonna love it. I don't know how much it'll get with the casual community, but it is League at the end of the day, so just like, yeah, just do whatever you think. I think it'll have a huge peak of interest when it first opens up, which always happens with fighting games. Let's just see how the longevity of it goes, but I am excited about it. I love Tekken 8, so do I. Everybody wants to be a team player, no guts to lose on their own. So I don't know, that's subjective, I guess. I mean, I don't mind getting my ass kicked. Brawlhalla don't count. Brawlhalla does count. Now, Brawlhalla is different, though. If I'm going to put Brawlhalla in the mixture of, like, the Mount Rushmore of fighting games, I will put it with, like, Smash Brothers, Multiverses, etc., etc. Shit. But I think Brawlhalla, I don't know if it gets... I wouldn't put it in a Mount Rushmore the way I put, like, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Killer Instinct, Guilty Gear, like, games like that, just because those games are way, like... skill gaps of a lot of those games are insane at times, and just the impacts they made for how long. Brawlhalla, at least from a general standpoint, it'll look more like a PC version of just Smash Bros. From a beginner standpoint. But again, mainstream is mainstream at the end of the day, which is why people like it, some people don't like it. Bro didn't mention Guilty Gear Strive. I just mentioned it right now. Make them simpler. So this is really good. Street Fighter 6 has entered into modern controls. Not really as well helped as the special style is in Tekken 8 now, but there is some leverage now, right? We see Street Fighter 6 doing something easier. Now Tekken 8 has gotten easier, more aggressive special style. Street Fighter 6 with modern controls. We'll see how much more simplified they can get. I agree. I think they could be a little bit more simplified at times. So especially Mortal Kombat 1 with their cameo system right now. Naraka is the most played fighting game on Steam. So I would say Battle Royale fighting, I mean, depending on what you want to leverage that as, I don't think that's something that's really going to make anything. It's been out for a while already. Didn't really do anything but like a little nudge. It is a cool essence to try. I just think their brand is not big enough right now. So they do have a solid idea. Maybe one of the bigger names could adapt one of those types of style genres into their fighting game as like an extra mode, kind of like how Tekken Force mode is, and Street Fighter 6 World Tour. Street Fighter 6 World Tour is almost like the way like Naraka's kind of like hosting that battle royale type situation, you know what I mean? But I don't know, to each their own, I guess. Biggest factor I think in most fighting games right now aren't free to play, and it's also quite demanding if you play on PC compared to like CS2. And okay, CS2 I agree because it's older, so it wouldn't be as demanding. PC Mortal Kombat 1 runs like shit, so I agree with that also. Yeah, it's true. I mean, a lot of people play on fight sticks and hybrid sticks, and also just like full-on snack boxes. And controls. I play on multiple controls because different variations, different inputs feel weird at times. So I agree. I mean, it just depends on what you think. Mortal Kombat 11 is more popular than Mortal Kombat 1. Sadly, it was for a very long time. I think MK1 has finally got itself back, but 11, because there was true things, it's cheaper. It was on game. It's still on Game Pass. And yeah, I don't know, there's a lot of other shit. MK1 was like in a drought for a while. They did drops for a while in terms of like Twitch stuff, but MK11 gameplay doesn't come close to MK1 though. So 2-player on one screen is cool too. So like a party game, right? So maybe fighting games going back to the party style. That's kind of like what they're saying. So 2 players, one screen, just kind of offline gaming is what people love about mainstream games. So maybe 10,000 current players. I know it's accurate, but that seems mind-bogglingly low for how many people there are in the world. So there is this was talking about how much people are currently playing Tekken 8, and therefore 10,000 is true for Steam. So that doesn't mean for console or anything, but it's still very low. But that just shows how much of a niche fighting games are. Fighting games are a real niche. I think people don't understand it. People really try to put these games in a massive nuance of like everything, you know, and as a community it sucks because you run into so many toxic people, and there's not that much room for that much toxicity because the community is so small and everybody's like fucking neighbors, you know what I mean? Like it's real, like everybody is very like intuitive, know each other, knows what's going on. So I wish the community could get better at certain things like that, because again, there's no room to really be that toxic if you want the community to grow and find more money opportunities, tournament opportunities, sponsors, all this stuff. Like we got to get better at that at least. I mean, but there is badass people that are cool, that are nice, that are like myself, or we're just trying to spread awareness on the platform, you know what I mean? Bring back Soul Calibur so MK can disappear from top 3. MK is in a shitty state, but at the end of the day, they're the only ones. Ultimate MK3 took MK so far that even like all these fucking Instagram models and hot women these days literally are all Kitanas and shit and Melinas, and like it's the basic of basic mainstream cosplay. I could look over the corner down the block from where I live or where I grew up, and I see Scorpion, I see Sub-Zero everywhere. Hell, I even see reptile costumes. I don't even know how the hell they had reptile costumes. I thought it was just yellow and blue stuff. But you see Kitanas everywhere. Like Johnny Cage is incredibly known still. Yeah, MK's not going anywhere, man. Most of the top games are free and can be played in the teams, and anyone can play, while fighting games are quite hard to play, where you need to learn a move and build a combo, and it's a 1v1 fight. This is a very, very valid statement, because what happens here is that it takes a shit ton to learn combos, and you got to put hours into this game. Games like Tekken take forever. The easiest one to probably pick up in MASH would... Not even Mortal Kombat's like that right now. Not Mortal Kombat 1, maybe some of the earlier ones, but Mortal Kombat 1's a little bit more intricate too. It's easier once you learn it, but it's still pretty hard. Tekken's the same way, which is why they're making characters like Eddie Gordo, Victor, Reina, kind of. I mean, Reina's hard to master, but she's easy to pick up. And what else did I say? Eddie Gordo, Victor, Reina. There's a couple of other people that have like one-button combos. Mortal Kombat 1 has like Baraka. A couple of other players that are easier, but that where you can press literally one button to do combos. But yeah, there's still a lot. If latency issues are solved, there'll be more. I doubt it. That's more of like a us thing, fighting game. Like we always have issues with netcodes and stuff too. We waiting for Sparkling Zero. Fighting games not necessarily make it mainstream. I mean, Dragon Ball is Dragon Ball at the end of the day. Dragon Ball is just as fucking big as like Mortal Kombat though. So. Yeah, of course, you know, that's always mainstream. Some of the craziest people are just always doing cosplay DBZ. Always, man. Like, Dragon Ball is a brand, though. Mortal Kombat is a brand that happens now to continuously make games. But first, they're a brand. Even though Mortal Kombat started as a game, now they're a brand and a business. You'll understand if you play Mortal Kombat 1 right now. They don't give 2 fucks about the game right now, but they do care about that money. Let's see. Tekken 8 is my first game that really hooked me. First of all, investing in getting your ass cooked is something by a small amount of players are willing to do. So it's very true. Second, it's also kind of a solo player game, which makes it hard to enjoy it with friends, and they get mad at you for your playstyle. So this is a very valid as to why like fighting games aren't mainstream, right? Because it's a fighting game that where you're getting your ass cooked. You get a small amount of people are willing to do that. True. I still get smoked in that game to this day. I'm like, basically we can get to blue rank already, and well, I'm well on my way even further. I just got to sit there and put more time into it. And I don't have the time right now, especially as an adult. But I'll just keep doing it slowly and slowly. By the end of the year, I'll be all right. But yeah, he's right. You know, you have to be willing to get your ass kicked. It's a humbling game. You could jump on, and one day of ranked, bro, like for the first 40 minutes, you probably won't even win a match. That's crazy, bro. That's a lot to really do when you're just getting off work, school, and you just want to enjoy a game. You know what I mean? Games sell millions of copies, and the casuals back out eventually. No surprise. This is why the total argument of casuals keeping the game alive is a total. So true, right? It's basically a lot of these games get sold, and mainstream are probably hoping for change, but it ends up being the fundamental of everything of fighting games, right? When Mortal Kombat's first released, everybody knows Mortal Kombat. They all try it out for a day or so, especially new streamers and stuff. And Tekken, they always peak at and spike at very high viewership, higher sales, but it eventually goes down because they end up recognizing how hard it is to maintain an everyday mentality of these games. The top 1% of fighting game players, the YouTubers and pros, need to stop gatekeeping the game. That's why our platform, we're a little different though, man. For example, when Street Fighter Pro has made it so much drama for the removal of one frame. Okay, so you're talking frame data, he's a little bit more rugged. No one's gonna watch you if people can even play the game and do a simple combo. That's very true. Then there's the same people that would complain casuals aren't watching them. Prize monies ain't worth it and sponsors don't come. Why would I watch someone play a game if I'm not able to play? Very true. So basically what he means, I like what he says, because this is probably like one of our final thoughts about this also. So one of our final thoughts about this is that the games are so hard and rugged that it's hard to already explain to a casual audience, which is very true. And on top of that, like, some people do gatekeep. I'm not one of those YouTubers that gatekeeps. That's why I like to make these types of videos. I feel that fighting games are very niche and very rugged because a lot of people do act like that at times. They're gatekeeping. They get crazy sweat lord. Now you're not supposed to let people win, of course, but it's something that just is not connecting with a mainstream. So I'm always constantly figuring that out on our channel to see what makes it better. And he's true about the sponsors. I want to end it with this because sponsors, I get way more sponsors covering any other game, bro, except fighting games. When I cover fighting games, I have to work twice as hard to even look for a sponsor. And it's not because we're doing the same type of content on multiple things, but I don't even have to have half the viewership on different like games like Call of Duty, Fortnite. I did Mortal Kombat. I did their opening sponsorships. At that point, I did the Omni-Man release sponsorship. And that was 10 times easier than some of the more rugged fighting games like, you know, like Tekken's and Guilty Gear and all those like real games that really get in there. You know what I mean? So, and even at that, with the Mortal Kombat one, it was 10 times as hard. Like it was 10 times harder for me to actually do shit with any type of fighting game versus me. I used to cover like virtual reality a lot. I used to cover all types of different games also, but I fell in love so much more with fighting games. But even in my virtual reality content, I would share basic shit, and like sponsors would always, like, G Fuel sponsored me for 2 years straight just covering virtual reality content, doing what I'm doing right now. And with fighting games, it doesn't even get close to that. So he's completely right about tournament money, sponsorship money. Like, it's so little, and that part is really gatekept also. So there is a lot of truth in that, man. Like, no question. I definitely want to end on that comment though. But it is very true. Like G Fuel, I was sponsored with him multiple years, just covering virtual reality content. I did Call of Duty sponsored content. I've done like so much other sponsored content where people help me out for months, these sponsors, and I'm just doing what I'm doing now. But in fighting games, it's far more rare because people just don't attract to these unless you're like really, really in the top echelon of competitiveness. While other gamers, like, they could just be like streamers, don't even have to be pros, you know what I mean? And they come by a lot faster. So that's what I mean, like, that viewership needs to change, and that's what we're working on our platform. And I'm very passionate about that because I wish people would understand these games more. I wish we could help motivate these people more, man. But yeah, y'all drop your thoughts on some of them. This is gonna be part of our series because this is a cool way to really leverage content and get your feedback. So leave the comments below if you want to be featured in a video, and I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a good one. Peace.